Now let us see the polyhalogen compounds. The first one in the list is the dichloromethane, CH2Cl2, which is also called methylene dichloride, or we also call it methylene chloride. See, it's a very important, this compound being polar in nature, is a very important industrial solvent. It is also used as a paint remover, solvent which removes paint. Also, it is, as I've told you, is a very good industrial solvent. It is also used as a propellant in aerosols. Now, along with this, what we need to know is that this is highly poisonous in nature. When inhaled in small quantities, it can lead to impaired hearing, and even it damages the eyes. What happens to is, if inhaled in excess, it causes vomiting, nausea, numbness in hands and in toes, and it becomes highly toxic. Now, what is most important to note about this compound is that when the skin gets exposed to this compound, it causes burning sensation and leads to the skin burning. That is why we always avoid to use it through our direct hands. So that's the most important thing about this polyhalogen compound. The next polyhalogen compound is trichloromethane or chloroform, or CHCl3. We all know this compound and we are very familiar with this compound. It's a very good, what we need to know is a solvent. Yes, it is a very good solvent, mainly for fats and alkalis, for iodine, etc. The most important thing to note about this compound is, yes, it is earlier, it was used for anesthetic purposes, but since the recovery time was very different for different people, nowadays we avoid it and we have many good substitutes of this compound. This, when inhaled in small quantity, it is also called, the percentage is 900 ppm. If inhaled in this percentage, it causes, yes, unconsciousness. And when inhaled in excess, it may lead to death because its accumulation in liver leads to the formation of a highly poisonous substance called phosgene. Yes, the chloroform, when exposed to air, it forms COCl2 and HCl, which is called phosgene. Now, this phosgene is a highly poisonous compound, and that is which was responsible for mainly when high concentration to even death. Now, this reaction is being catalyzed by the sunlight, and that is why what we do is we always try to keep this chloroform in dark colored, crimson colored bottles. Nowadays, this chloroform is mainly being used for the preparation of the common freon refrigerant R22. This R22 is the most commonly used refrigerant, which is nowadays used in our air conditioners and refrigerators. So now the main purpose of the chloroform nowadays industrial is to prepare this refrigerant R22. Now, the next one in the list of polyhalogen compounds is triiodomethane. It's triiodomethane. We're talking about iodoform or CHI3. See, we know that, yes, it is also used as one of the most important organic substances to differentiate between aldehydes and ketones and alcohols. Along with this, what we need to know is that it is very good in antiseptic also. We used to use it, it's 2 to 3% aqueous solution in alcohol or ethanol was used as an antiseptic because it used to liberate iodine. But because of its very foul smell, of nowadays what you're doing is we have substituted this with some other different compounds which liberates iodine. The next polyhalogen compound is tetrachloromethane or CCl4, which is also called carbon tetrachloride. It is actually being used in large quantities in the preparation of what we can say is the propellants of your aerosol cans. It is also used in the preparation of freons, the chlorofluorocarbons. The most important thing to note about this is, yes, when inhaled by us, by humans, yes, it causes nausea, vomiting. There are unconfirmed sources which say that yes, it leads to what, cancer also. When inhaled, it can lead to either liver cancer or nerve cells cancers. So there are many harmful effects also associated with this solvent, this compound. It is very good solvent also, since it is non-combustible. It doesn't catch as fire. It is almost as because of the absence of hydrogen. It is very much commonly used as a solvent in the laundries and in the textile industries, and that is why it has replaced the petrol and the other gasolines, etc., which were earlier used in the dry cleaning purposes. It is also used as a fire extinguisher because it doesn't catch as fire by the name pyrene. So there are a lot of other uses which are actually there, but the most important one is nowadays it's being used as a refrigerant gas in the preparation of the refrigerants, and as well as in the preparation of the propellants which are used in your aerosol cans. The next category of polyhalogen compounds are freons. See, freons are chlorofluoro derivatives of methane and ethane. Now, they are the most commonly used, what we know that are the refrigerants. They are the one which are nowadays, we have been using them in our air conditioners and the refrigerators. So, they are the most important gases. The most common of these are the freon 12, which are CCl2 and F2. They are mainly prepared when this CCl4 carbon tetrachloride by Schwarz reaction replaces its 2-chlorine by what? 2-fluorine, and we get what? We write it like this, CCl2 and F2. So this is what we have is its normal preparation. Now these are the gases which, yes, of course, are used in your what? Refrigerants. They are the one which are mainly responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer, because they lead to what? Chain reactions of the depletion of ozone layer. Along with the CCl4, when they reaches to the upper part of the atmosphere, yes, they interact with the ozone gas and leads to their depletion. The next in the category of polyhalogen compounds is the DDT, which is also called dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, very most commonly used insecticide, but nowadays it is universally banned because of its what? Non-biodegradable nature, and we know that its accumulation in fatty tissues leads to what? A very serious problem as it leads to what? Cancer. It's carcinogenic in nature and it accumulates in the fatty tissues. That is why it is nowadays universally banned. But what actually chemically it is? It is prepared from chloral by reaction with what? Chlorobenzene. So it is having a 2-carbon compound ethane with the 3-chlorine on 1 carbon, and 2-phenyl group with the chlorine at the para positions on the 2nd carbon. So we write it as its IUPAC name is, if this is 1 and this is 2, 1,1,1 trichloro 2,2 bis 4-chlorophenyl ethane. So that's its IUPAC name is because these are 2 bulky groups we have. And it's a very common insecticide, as I told you, and because of this structure, we usually call it DDT. It's dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. So this is what we have, the total of the polyhalogen compounds.